Greetings, this is M Squared, and today we're going to do a little review on relations and functions. A relation is a set of ordered pairs. You might know them as points. An ordered pair is a point. So just a bunch of points, or it could be an equation, but almost everything that you're asked is a relation. So all functions are relations. But sometimes relations aren't functions. So you have to keep that in mind too. So this is how you tell if something's a function. If every x has exactly one y. That's how you tell if something's a function. And if you had a set of points, what I do is I just look at all the x's. If I have a set of points 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, -1, we'll just do this. If I had a set of points, these are my x's, these are my y's, and if I want to know if it's a function, because this is a relation, all I do is I look and see, are all the x's different? If all the x's are different, then each one is going to have exactly one y, so it's a function. However, if you were given a graph of a line, or anything, a graph of a parabola, whatever, if it's a graph, you use the vertical line test. So what that means is, if you draw a vertical line anywhere on the graph, I should probably do that with a different color so you can see it. If I draw vertical lines anywhere, it can only cross once to be a function. So let me just graph real quick, like a circle. Let's see. So see how when I draw a vertical line that it crosses twice? It crosses once here and once there. So a circle isn't considered a function because it doesn't pass the vertical line test. It's still a relation. It's still a set of points, a certain distance from a center, but it is not a function. So the next step is they are going to ask you what type of function it is. So of course, before you figure out what type it is, you have to know if it's a function. If it's not a function, then you don't have to do which type. So there's 3 types of functions in this book. There's one-to-one functions, onto functions, and, well, I shouldn't say there's 3 types, or it can be both. There's 2 types and it can be both. So a one-to-one function is where each x has exactly one unique y. See, in a function, I could have an x that has a y and then a different x that has the same y, as long as the x's were different. But in this kind of function, a one-to-one function, every x has to have a unique y and only and exactly one. And the horizontal line test is used to figure that out. So for example, our line again, the vertical line test works because any vertical line I make only has one solution, but the horizontal line test works too. In a parabola, vertical line test works. There's nowhere that I can make a vertical line where it crosses more than once. Well, my graph kind of goes back up, but it's not supposed to. If I was a better artist, it wouldn't have. But when I check to see if it's a one-to-one function, it's not, because it crosses twice. So horizontal line test and vertical line test can only cross once to either vertical line test for a function and horizontal line test for a one-to-one function. But remember, it can't be a one-to-one function if it's not already a function. So that function test is first. Okay, so for an onto, each y has an x. So if you had a domain and range like a set of points, you would want to make sure that each y has an x. But when you're graphing a line, you've got to be careful, because on the graph you're assuming that the domain and range are all real numbers. So for example, this parabola here wouldn't be an onto function because you have y's down here that aren't on the graph. So there's a whole bunch of y's down in this area. The range of this function only goes up. So this would not be an onto function. However, the line would be, because as far as you go down, you can go over and find that graph. So lines are cubic functions, which look something like this, are onto functions. Lines are onto functions. And these are also one-to-one functions because they pass the vertical line test. So that's how you get the both. If it works for one-to-one and onto, then it's both. So hopefully that was a little helpful on those functions. And we're going to do some more in the next lesson. So good luck. M Squared signing out.